Lisa is a mother of two. She first developed psoriasis at the age of 4, following a shocking accident.
I was in a car crash with my father when I was 4, and shock, screamed and just reacted very badly. And for a while after that, I was definitely a different child, my mother and father do say after that. And I just started breaking out in this rash and brought to specialists, and they discovered it was psoriasis and was getting treatment. The psoriasis changed as I grew up, going to school because it was my responsibility. I was at an age where I was looking after it. I didn't look after it as much as I should have. I didn't put creams on as much as I should have. It got thicker, it got scalier. Legs, elbows, knees. My head was very bad, and behind my ears, just there behind my ears. Very, very bad behind my ears and in my ears. Mum can remember having to put the oil in and use the comb, and Dad described it like peeling a potato, that it was that thick and starting right at the hairline and having been constantly dragged back. And I just keep saying, oh Mum, and Mum would be saying, not much longer now, not much longer, and Mum knew she would be at it for hours.
Treatment wise, every night was a battle. No Mum, please, not again. So we were into a routine. I think what killed her most of all was the time I had to get her hair cut. She used to have beautiful long black curly hair, and every night trying to get into it. And I used to be saying, oh, I get it. So then in the morning when we used to have to fine comb the hair to get the scabs off, it used to be a battle again. So when I got her hair cut, that really killed her. But it was easier, if you can imagine, at night to put the creams in and fine comb it. And she used to always say, I look like a boy, I look like a boy.
When I was 18 and I went through a phase of where I got so sick and tired of looking after it and having to do creams and having to spend time doing this, that it got out of control. I left it get out of control. I was hospitalised then after that. Brought into dermatology, and he took one look at me and brought me in. Covered, head covered, face covered, arms just absolutely destroyed, completely out of control.
A shock or trauma in one's life can often be the trigger for the onset of psoriasis.
We've come across doctors, we had her to psychiatrists, we had her to specialists, and they literally say that it's in you and something will bring it out. And the only thing we've looked into both sides of the family, it isn't there. And the only thing we could put it down to is the shock that Lisa got at the car accident, because when she saw a psychiatrist, she couldn't come up with anything in the family. Lisa wasn't being mistreated or anything, and the only thing, even in talks with her, Lisa kept saying, the car accident, the car accident.
Getting the right information is the first step in the treatment of psoriasis.
I literally would have gone to the GP and just said, is there something new? No. Is there a cure? No. And I would have been fine. I have to keep doing what I'm doing, and I kept doing that. So I didn't look for the information, even though I knew it was out there. Dad would have articles from the paper, the websites, and the Irish Psoriasis Association information probably would have been there, but a lot of the time I just put the paper cuttings away. Oh, this is another thing Dad has given me, sure I know everything about it. I wouldn't have gone on the internet and looked up information. I felt I knew everything. Lately my GP admitted herself that she didn't know very much about it, referred me to another GP who was absolutely fantastic, and I found out about new medications that I would never ever have found out about unless my own GP had said, look, hands up, I don't know enough about it, I don't know enough about the creams, go see this person. Went to see the person and I've learned a lot more.
Dealing with the reality of a child's psoriasis being a lifelong condition can be difficult for a parent to accept.
I don't care what you say, there isn't a mother that has a child who's sick that wouldn't say at some stage, give it to me and I'll bear it.
With me having psoriasis, and when Mum used to be treating it, she used to be saying, if I could have it instead of you, I would. And at times I would have given it to her if I could have given it to her. But Dad had a heart attack a few years ago, and Mum, having been the person who cared for me and looking after mine, turned into the person to have it, because she broke out in it after Dad. The stress, the shock, it was a complete shock for Mum, for Dad to have a heart attack, and she broke out a few months later, and she has it on the front of her legs.
So it wouldn't bother me, not that patch. This is beautiful now because it's summer. In the winter, that'll be white as the pants. But it hasn't gone from here to there any bigger.
The other night we were talking to my mother. She said when we were born, she used to always say, a beautiful head of hair. That's all. She said, I really wanted, Mum had thin hair. She said she always wanted the kids to have beautiful head of hair. I said, that's funny, Mum. I said, I wanted mine to have perfect skin. I didn't want them to have psoriasis. Even Peter kind of gives out to me sometimes. I'm always looking at them, I'm checking them over, I moisturise them a lot, I'm careful what I put on their skin. It would kill me. It would kill me.
As a mum, Lisa is worried about the impact of her condition on her own children.
Dawn, my 6-year-old, tells people, oh, that's Mummy, psoriasis, and it's not contagious. She's 6. I find it's impacting on her because she's watching what people are reacting to me. She's defending me, and it's definitely having an impact on her. And I find my 6-year-old daughter is protecting me, which is, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I stopped going to the pool lately because of it. Kids were doing swimming lessons, and walking into the pool with Dawn, she would notice that kids were staring. In the changing room, 1 or 2 adults would be looking, and even once or twice people have moved further up the bench where they're getting ready. Kids are kids, it's pure and utter innocence, and they'd say, oh Mum, what's wrong with that lady's legs? And joking I'd say, well, do you know what now, I didn't dry off properly, or I didn't have a proper shower after the swimming pool. Joking, and the mums would kind of laugh, or you'd get the odd person in going, oh yuck Mum, what's wrong with that lady's legs? And I'd laugh it off, it's kids. But it's the adults that stare, or the adults that make assumptions. When I started going to the pool first, I had a woman looking at my legs, took out her phone and rang somebody. Oh my God, yeah, it's just disgusting. I'll have to ring Brian and ask Brian what does he think it is. That could be ringworm, that could be anything. Yeah, and I was standing there just going, God almighty, if you just asked. And then I thought, you know, I'm not going to tell her what it is. I'm not going to explain myself. I do find I explain myself an awful lot. I'd say to people, oh, you know, I have psoriasis on my legs, it's not contagious. They mightn't have seen it, they mightn't have looked at it, but I'd explain myself. I'd get in there first before they can say anything. I'd get in there first and say it. And then they'd say to me afterwards, God, I wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't have said it. I know for a fact they'd have noticed. They would have looked. They'd be wondering what it is.
Lisa also has arthritis, which may be linked to her psoriasis.
I have arthritis, which I only had diagnosed lately. I've had it for years and years and years. It could have been psoriatic arthritis. I haven't been to see a dermatologist in 14 years, so a link would never have been made because I haven't been to see a dermatologist. My arthritis specialist just said it is osteoarthritis, that is it, but I'm looking forward to actually going to the dermatologist and seeing, is it psoriatic arthritis? I've had it for years.
Talking in an open and honest manner about her psoriasis has helped Lisa enormously.
From, I suppose, going through primary school, there was never any stigma. Everyone kind of knew what it was. It was always explained to people. I was never made feel ashamed. I was never made feel dirty. Mum and Dad were very open. Mum and Dad would be very open with us about everything, and therefore I'd be open with other people. I'd say, oh, I have psoriasis, it's not contagious. I like letting people know what I'm living with. Not that they have sympathy for me, not that they say, oh, you're a martyr, but it's just let people know what it's like to live with it. To talk to people about it, people that have it, that don't talk about it, that should talk about it, that don't get treatment for it. Try and open up their eyes, let them know there's treatments out there. You don't have to suffer, you don't have to stay hidden inside. You can live a life with psoriasis.